Ditch your Florida travel plans and sprint for the nearest U-Haul. If you don't want to be the next sob story, listen up. My phone's blowing up with folks crying, "My rent just spiked $600. I'm toast. I'm headed for the streets." And don't get me started on the stigma. Background checks and security hoops like you're auditioning for a spy flick. Worst of all, a ton of seniors are out here living the homeless nightmare. Where do they go? Spoiler, not to some cozy shelter, because those are rarer than a cheap burger at a beachfront joint. Lord knows they need help. We all do. Don't let the golden sunshine, postcard-perfect beaches, or that retirement utopia vibe fool you. Florida's not the promised land. It's a full-on dumpster fire sinking in a homelessness crisis that's uglier than a spring break hangover. Thousands of retirees rolled in, dreaming of sunset margaritas, but now they're crashing in beat-up cars and sketchy tents, crushed by sky-high rents, insurance that costs more than a yacht, and a safety net unraveling faster than a cheap bikini. In today's vlog, we're ripping off Florida's glossy Instagram filter to expose the gut-wrenching truth behind this so-called paradise, and why the American dream here's tanking harder than a bad TikTok trend. Thinking of moving to the Sunshine State for a fresh start? Hit pause and watch this first, or you're in for a rude awakening. This ain't just doom and gloom, it's a reality check backed by solid sources to help y'all get real and prep smart. Ready to tour Florida's dark side? Buckle up, let's roll. Florida used to be the ultimate golden years jackpot, where folks didn't just move, they cashed in their life's hustle for a sunset cocktail by the shore. Back in the 80s, it was the dream spot for retirees bailing on California, Michigan, or New York, trading their old family cribs for a chill life in Sarasota, Fort Myers, or Naples. Cute towns where your social security check didn't vanish like a bad Tinder date. For tons of folks, Florida was the end game. Sipping coffee to the tune of waves, feeling all warm and fuzzy in a homey haven. But oh, how that postcard's faded. Florida's paradise is now a sour note that stings worse than a jellyfish at low tide. The vibe's gone full-on corporate takeover. Those cozy retirement towns are drowning in glitzy resorts, skyscraping hotels, and condos priced like they come with a private jet. Affordable homes? Bulldozed for golf courses or million-dollar penthouses that scream, "Rich folks only." This glow-up's got no room for the OGs who built this place. Retired factory workers, teachers, vets, postal folks, who after grinding their whole lives away, just want a steady roof and some peace. But with rent spiking, insurance bills that'd make you sell your flip-flops, and subsidy programs either slashed or tangled up in DMV-level red tape, they're getting evicted from their own dreams. The HUD report drops a gut punch. Over 31,462 Floridians are homeless, with 1 in 4 homeless adults over 55. Heartbreaking, right? These folks, America's backbone, are now scraping by on street corners or in ratty tents that wouldn't pass muster at a music festival. This ain't a tale of screw-ups. Florida's homelessness crisis is about a whole generation getting ditched by the state they bet their bingo winnings on. When shelter budgets get the axe, medical aid's frozen like a bad pina colada, and all the focus goes to hyping up tourism and real estate, regular folks turn into roadblocks for the big money crowd. Florida's still sold as the retirement promised land, but that dream's now a VIP pass for the 1%ers. The cost for those who quietly made this place shine? They're living like extras in a zombie flick, haunting the edges of glitzy boulevards. Florida's not the poster child for chill golden years anymore. It's the textbook case of a dream gone rancid like milk left out in the Miami heat. If a place hyped as the ultimate retiree haven can't even make room for Gramps and Granny, what's in store for us, still banking on a softer future? Hit that like button if you think everyone deserves a shot at a dignified retirement. Let's show some love for those left behind. Picture Miami, and you're probably seeing sun-soaked streets packed with beach-bound tourists, salsa beats pumping from trendy cafes, and those pastel Art Deco buildings straight out of a Wes Anderson flick. But hold up, Miami's not that shiny postcard for the folks who saw it as their forever home. This city, once all about warm vibes and soft waves, is now ground zero for the Southeast's homelessness crisis, and it's messier than a spring break bar tab. Stats say 2 out of every 4 homeless folks in Miami-Dade County are over 60. Grandparents who rolled in for a quiet sunset, not a street-side struggle. Their dreams got smashed faster than a piñata at a kid's party, leaving them on the fringes of a city that's too bougie for its own good. Miami's a wild paradox. You can drop $500 on a lobster dinner by the ocean or flex at Fashion Week. But meanwhile, thousands are scraping by on sidewalks because they got no place to crash. Downtown and Overtown have nearly 9,000 folks without a home. And some spots are so sketchy, even the cops are like, nah, we're good unless it's an emergency. What's your take? How does a city this flashy turn its back on its elders? Miami's not the only spot where the dream's gone sour. Orlando, aka the happiest place on earth thanks to Mickey Mouse, is serving up a reality check grimmer than a rainy day at Disney. Just a 15-minute cruise from the park's west gate, there's a vacant lot off I-4 that's now home to nearly 200 homeless folks, mostly seniors. They're living in tents, cars, or shacks slapped together from wood, tarps, and whatever Home Depot scraps they can scrounge. Think less glamping and more survival mode. The real kicker is, these aren't drifters. They're Orlando locals who used to sling burgers or make beds at tourist traps, now laid off, replaced, or too beat up to keep going. This ain't just one bad neighborhood, it's a statewide takeover. Jacksonville's bridges are now sleep spots, Tampa's Greyhound station is a makeshift motel, and St. Petersburg's beaches? Less bring break selfie and more campsite for the elderly and sick who the system's ghosted. These folks aren't outcasts. They're the real deal Floridians who built these cities, now stuck eating church handouts out of styrofoam. When dream destinations turn into nightmares for the people who made them, what's left? Nobody dreams of spending their golden years ducked under a 7-Eleven awning dodging Florida's pop-up rainstorms, praying they'll make it to sunrise. But that's the grim reality slapping folks right in the heart of America's once hottest streets. Even Florida's glitzy cities are fumbling to save their seniors, leaving them out in the cold, well, humid heat technically. So tell me, is there still a corner of the American dream left for those who bet their whole lives on it? Florida used to be the ultimate retiree jackpot, a place where you could escape the snowy north with a modest nest egg and live like a king on a budget. Folks believed a decent paycheck or some savings could bankroll a chill life of flip-flops and sunset walks. Now, that dream's getting crushed faster than a sandcastle at high tide, choked by price tags and bills that'd make a Wall Street bro sweat. Rent's gone bonkers. Try coughing up $2,200 a month for a Tampa one-bedroom, triple what it was a decade ago. Miami's even worse, hitting $2,700 for a closet-sized crash pad. While incomes are stuck in the dial-up era, housing costs are soaring like a SpaceX rocket. For seniors on Social Security or folks scraping by, it's a math problem straight out of a nightmare SAT. Budgeting's now a cruel game of pick one, rent, food, or AC. It ain't just rent burning holes in wallets. Groceries are staging a full-on heist. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says meat, eggs, veggies, and basics are pricier than they've been in 20 years. Picture a single mom grinding 60-hour weeks, still picking between a roof or decent meals for her kids. Utility bills? They're climbing like they're auditioning for Everest, forcing families to choose between staying cool or eating. This isn't just inflation doing its thing. It's a silent hurricane shredding bank accounts and faith in the work hard, win big American dream. If busting your hump doesn't even get you a square meal, is that dream still kicking? Why is this mess getting worse? Big shot investors are playing Monopoly with Florida's housing, snatching up whole apartment blocks and flipping them for prices that make your eyes pop. One unit, two, then entire buildings turned into cash cows for the elite and nightmares for everyone else. Florida's government, they're sitting this one out with zero rent control, no cap on price hikes, and no rule forcing investors to save spots for low-income folks. So hard-working families get the boot when rent outruns their paychecks. Meanwhile, in Tampa, Feeding Tampa Bay says 1 in 6 adults is staring down food insecurity, with 1 in 7 seniors picking between rent, meds, or a sandwich. Food banks, the pandemic's MVPs, are now drowning, out of cash and hands to help. Seeing lines snaking through Walmart and Costco lots for handouts in one of America's richest states? That's a gut punch. What's it take to fix this greed fest? These stats, bills, and scenes aren't just numbers. They're snapshots of a society misplacing its heart faster than a tourist loses their sunglasses.
when a hot meal's a splurge, when seniors are pinching pennies for the light bill, when kids wait in line for day-old bread, Florida's not the sunny haven it used to be. It's a land of forgotten folks, scraping by on scraps while the world looks away. When rent and basics are out of reach for most, what's normal look like next? Is the American dream, built on fairness and a shot for all, still worth chasing? America's always bragged about its rock-solid safety net, a lifeline for the elderly, sick, or down on their luck, no matter the crisis or who's in charge. But in Florida, that net's ripped to shreds, barely holding anyone up. Seniors, once first in line for help, now wait months, years for a subsidized apartment, while wait lists grow longer than a CVS receipt. In Tampa, Orlando, and Miami, the Section 8 voucher program's on pause, leaving tens of thousands twiddling their thumbs. In Fort Myers, a 68-year-old woman spilled her guts. She applied for housing aid, got zilch, and now bounces between a friend's couch and park benches. "I just need a place to call home," she said. And she's not alone. The system meant to shield seniors is a bureaucratic funhouse, endless forms, short-staffed offices, and policies older than a flip phone. Many just give up, lost in a maze that promised protection. It's not just housing. Community health programs are taking a beating, too. Med centers, free blood pressure checks, and mental health services that kept seniors steady. They're shuttering left and right, thanks to budget cuts and reevaluations. These gaps hit like a 1-2 punch for folks already wobbling in life's toughest round. When seniors can't find a way out, other vulnerable folks, single moms, disabled people, ex-cons trying to restart, get slammed, scrapping for every meal, bed, or doctor's visit. A society's only as strong as how it treats its weakest links. If we're ghosting the elderly, sick, and quiet ones, aren't we losing more than just progress? Are we ditching our humanity? Florida's crisis isn't some cosmic oops. It's a slow-burn disaster cooked up by years of lousy policies and priorities dumber than a reality TV plot. Instead of beefing up welfare to protect folks, especially seniors and the vulnerable, Florida's gone all in on luxury condos and big money investors. Budgets for affordable housing and support programs slashed or frozen. Take the Sadowski Fund, meant for social housing. It's been raided or choked off for years, leaving thousands, including seniors, high and dry. Section 8 vouchers? Bogged down by red tape and short supply, with Tampa and Orlando flat out saying no new applicants. Rent control? Non-existent, so investors jack up prices like they're selling Super Bowl tickets. Health and mental health services for the poor? Cut or closed. Instead of fixing the root issues, local bigwigs sweep homeless camps under the rug before spring break to keep tourists happy, offering zero real fixes. This short-sighted, heartless hustle shows a system cracking like a cheap pool float. If we don't pivot, this mess will spread beyond Florida. Can a system that ditches its people last? What's at stake if we don't act? Our homes or our soul? Not only does the physical debris remain when a dream fails, but the lives of individuals who previously had faith in it are profoundly empty. Tent communities and individuals living in automobiles are on the rise in Florida today, but so are icy silences and a clear erosion of community. Houses left unattended because their owners can't afford insurance, mom-and-pop shops going out of business, and overcrowded bridges where hundreds of people sleep have all become commonplace throughout the state. After being a haven for retirees for so long, Florida now looks like a post-crisis wasteland where people are living precariously with little hope for the future. Even now, some remain, mostly out of desperation. For those who have departed, the most preoccupying thought is not the material goods that have gone, but rather the emptiness that comes from knowing there's no place to go, no one to turn to for comfort or solace. Protests and heated discussions have faded from Florida. A chilling stillness suggests that the homeless problem is here to stay. Rather than looming in the distance, it is right here with us, and all we can do is pick up the pieces it has left behind. Although Florida serves as a jumping-off place, it will not serve as a final destination. The rapid downfall of this once lauded retirement paradise, a region with an invested social security system, a huge older population, and what is seen as an excellent climate, should serve as a warning to all of America. Once a beacon of opportunity, California is today home to more than 180,000 individuals experiencing homelessness. New York City is housing thousands of middle-class families in overcrowded, publicly subsidized motels. As Texans flee the state's escalating housing costs and deteriorating public services, a subtle but noticeable ebb and flow of population is occurring. Once again, we are seeing the hallmarks of a collapse: skyrocketing home prices, increasing inequality, inconsistent policymaking, and a social safety net that cannot sustain its original beneficiaries. The tranquil suburbs are now home to what was before exclusive to large metropolises. The middle class is no more a haven, but rather a transitory stepping stone to the lowest echelons of society. In this America, no amount of hard work can guarantee a quiet retirement. What is occurring in Florida right now may very well represent America tomorrow if we refuse to recognize this reality and refuse to challenge the current leadership. Does this nation have what it takes to sacrifice a whole generation for meaningless false glamour? Once upon a time, Floridians looked to the sunshine and calm of Florida as a sign of a lovely finish to their lives. A new narrative is emerging from the improvised shelters beneath the bridges, the individuals crammed into their vehicles, and the hopeless expressions on their faces. Not a single one dared to believe that a few of poor choices and ill-advised advantages might derail the hopes of a whole generation. Blind progress is costly, not in terms of report figures, but in actual people's lives, the lives that are quietly pushed to society's periphery. The worst part is, we have no idea who might be the next state or city to fall prey to this system in its current form. Do you have any thoughts on the Florida homeless crisis? Put your 2 cents in the comments area. To help support the channel and see when we upload new videos, please subscribe, like, and share the videos. The next video will be up soon, but until then, thank you for tuning in. This movie aims to analyze, explore, and provoke community discussion. We have no ill will toward any political group or government body and will not spread false information. Avoid relying on this film as a substitute for professional legal counsel or government-issued statistics. Its only purpose is to spark conversation and bring attention to important social issues.